Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, joined in studio by local artist Luke Frazier. You have an exhibit over at Park City Fine Art. Welcome to the show. How are you this morning, Luke?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And you were kind enough to bring in one of your masterpieces right here. I'm so looking forward to having this conversation with you. I can't even begin to tell you how incredible it is to see things like this, for anyone to see them for that matter, and really kind of conceptualize how long it takes you, or just the effort that goes into putting something together like this. But first off, tell me a little bit about your background. You're from Logan initially.
Yeah. Well, I was born and raised in the Salt Lake City area. And when I graduated high school from Bingham High School, went to Dixie College for 2 years. And then from there that's when I really started cultivating the art, my desire for drawing and sculpture. And then researched a little bit and found out that Utah State had an incredible program for art and illustration, and met my wife, soon-to-be wife,
well,
at
that
Dixie.
worked out well. Get your degree and your wife.
Yeah. And her family was from Cache Valley, so moved up there and went to Utah State for 4 more years, and that's where it all started.
That's incredible. So tell me your approach to what it is that you do. You focus mostly on really the majesty of nature and capturing these wildlife scenes. Why did you choose to focus it in that manner?
I grew up hunting and fishing, raising bird dogs, and spending a lot of time outdoors. And I always had a knack for drawing and sculpture. So early on in my career and my life, I decided that that's something that I really wanted to do, is recreate those things in clay, and then eventually moved on to canvas. And after going through college and getting a bachelor's in painting and then a master's degree in illustration, I coupled that with all my desire of the outdoors and started illustrating for magazines, and then selling paintings to galleries, or selling paintings through galleries.
Incredible. And I wanted to mention too, you have some pieces in the entryway, the foyer area of the montage.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. Very cool. So next time you're there, you'll have to check those out.
Yeah.
Before we go over this painting right here, we do have a couple of images that I want you to take us through.
Okay.
And speaking of capturing that outdoor life, those outdoor scenes, let's toss up one of those images right now, and Luke can kind of take us through what we're seeing. And first off, is this oil as well? This image right here is.
Yeah, I work in many mediums. In my initial drawing stage, my preliminary sketches, I work in oil washes as well as watercolor. But my main medium is oil paint.
Very good. And so what are we seeing here? How long, what's the process that you go through in putting something like this together?
This is I do a lot of hunting scenes with dogs and birds, a lot of portraits of people's animals, their pets. Mainly, this particular painting is a study for a commission for a gentleman in Florida. And I'll photograph their animals, draw them on site, and then come back to the studio, put them together, and do quick, rough oil drawings or oil paintings. My belief is painting is just drawing with paint. It's just a medium to put on canvas, but that's kind of the process.
Very good. Let's go through a couple more of these.
Yeah, same type of scenario. Just love bird dogs. The whole interaction with the bird and the dog, and the little idiosyncrasies that they have, and just little quaint little scenes.
Let's toss up. There's one more here.
Oh yeah.
And then tell me what we're seeing here. Is this an actual landscape, or do you take that from your mind, your imagination, the landscape?
No, there's a little bit of that. You always have the artist touch, or the artist license to, depart from what you really see in a landscape, and it's all about editing. If I try to paint every leaf and every blade of grass, to me it becomes disinteresting. So I try to choreograph it so the eye will focus on one certain area. That's why some of my work is more vague in the backgrounds, and then it sharpens up where I want the eye to focus, which is kind of more of a rugged approach to paint.
Yeah. Oh, those are just spectacular. I love the feel of what you do. It really speaks, I think, to a lot of the culture here in Utah. The great outdoors, enjoying, the hunting, the fishing, just the camping, the being out and enjoying scenes like this. It's just so great, and you're able to just capture the realism and almost the mysticism of that in a very real way.
I've been very lucky, very blessed to do what I love to do every day, and make a living at it. There's a lot of artists out there that are phenomenal that don't have that opportunity. For whatever reason, the stars aligned, and at the age of 18, I started making a living at painting while I was going through school, and it just blossomed from there. And
spectacular.
It is. I mean, it's to hear the starving artist story. I mean, that is a very true thing. But to make a name for yourself and to be able to make a career out of it is just, I'm speechless. Yeah. Wow.
So share with me, who are some of your inspirations in the art world?
That's very easy. 100 years ago, wildlife art really wasn't considered a fine art. It was more the type of art that you'd put in your lodge or the hunting lodge. It took many years for wildlife art to be recognized as a fine art. In the beginning, there were Wilhelm Kunert, German-born, Carl Rungius, who eventually came from Germany to the United States and was working in Wyoming, and then eventually ended up in Calgary. And from there, they just painted the things that they loved, which was working horse teams and cowboys, and then eventually into their wildlife and landscape, and they kind of broke trail for the rest of us that love the outdoors. And I kind of depart from that. My mentor, Bob Kuhn, was born in 1920, passed away in 2007. He was more of a stylized painter, where he wouldn't paint every blade of grass. He would do big, broad bands of color, almost like a Mark Rothko, and then include the animals. But you could almost feel the fur and the dust in the air. That to me is a master's touch. So those are the artists that I really focused on and that made my juices flow, my artistic juices. And for me it just opened my eyes, and then for me I kind of opened up or broadened my spectrum by including the sporting art, and that came from just all my time out in the field, hunting and fishing, fishing with my grandfather out of an old birch bark canoe. And the old creels. And when I first started painting fly fishing scenes, it was when Robert Redford's movie A River Runs Through It came out, and I just love that old tackle, no waders, not the new stuff, but an old creel, and those are the type of scenes I painted. I would take 4 to the gallery in Jackson Hole. By the time I drove home, 3 would be sold.
No kidding.
And it was just
Luke,
I know,
that's impressive.
It was just the stars were aligned, and it worked well. It flowed that way.
Well, Luke, tell me a little bit about this one before we end out our interview here. Like you said, referring to some of your mentors and such, and incorporating that into what you're doing here, like the large bands of color, not too much detail in some areas in the background, right?
Exactly. And there are a lot of artists out there that paint super realism, where you see every pine needle and every blade of grass. And for me, I give them credit. That takes so much time and effort. But for me, as I learned and matured in art and studying Rungus and Bob Kuhn and Ken Carlson, these artists, they learn to say more with less. Simple is better. But in reality, the eye doesn't see all this detail in the distance, but you want to focus the eye on what's the most important, and that's where I would sharpen up the detail. This stuff is just superfluous. It's important to the painting, but it's really, I try to make a painting as powerful as possible, hence the darker background, the stronger light cast across the back, just to really, create kind of a punch. And the more I studied these master artists that came before, they would get away from the hair paint, detail, super detail, and focus more on the structure. You can't build a house by starting with shingles. You have to build a foundation, frame the house, and then from there, then you finish it. That to me is a much more powerful painting but that's only my opinion. You know, there's so many artists out there.
Well, it's worked so far, so I'd say it's a pretty good one.
Right, and it's, you know, and to each his own. Each artist is so different.
Yeah.
We all have a different path.
Absolutely.
And mine is just taking me this direction.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for bringing this in here this morning. Joe and I were just talking how we think this would go really well on our awesome mantelpiece.
I agree.
Would you mind?
Sure.
We'll borrow it until you're done with your exhibit. But speaking of the exhibit, taking place at Park City Fine Art, at parkcityfineart.com is where you can find out more information. But you are you actually going to be there in person, or will you just have your items in it?
Well, yeah, we'll have paintings there, but I will be there off and on for the opening, and I live in Cache Valley, so it's only a few hours away, so
yeah,
I'll be
not bad.
in and out.
Very good, and it lasts through about the middle of January, is that right?
Yep, that's
Perfect.
right.
All right, well, Luke, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We certainly appreciate it, and we look forward maybe to having you in again. And so congratulations on your success thus far, and these are great. They fit perfectly here with the Utah lifestyle.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with this quick commercial break. We have Ariel Rainey with Snowbird on the phone. She'll be giving us a condition report on how the slopes are looking.